What's up, y'all? It's your boy Mighty Moth here, back with another video. Today, I want to get into what's going to be coming up for me in the future and some of my ideas and suggestions off the top. I didn't rehearse this video. I just checked my YouTube studio and got a notification that we reached our 3,000 watch hours required. Now all we have to do is get 500 subscribers. So if you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button, give us a like, drop a comment, help get us out into that algorithm. So that said, thank you to everybody that has subscribed, everybody that's been riding with us from the beginning. You guys keep us going. Times are tough right now. I'm working a lot. I'm doing a lot. I haven't even had time to get my hair cut, so I apologize for this thing going on here. But what you're seeing in front of you, the footage here, I was testing like the rate at which you get 6 prefix and 6 suffix, and we were trying to roll some decent maps. I did an entire stash tab and like a quarter of another one, somewhere around like 140 maps. And I got exactly 14 6 prefix and exactly 14 6 suffix. So with a big enough sample size, you average around 10% of the time you'll hit a 6 suffix or a 6 prefix. So that was good to know. And we had done similar things in the past, and it turned out about the same, depending, give or take 1 or 2. But what the future holds for us, we have acquired some Thorns gear. We might min-max Thorns. We're trying to min-max Shouts. I eventually want to do a video of me taking down a Pinnacle boss using Shouts, using 0 attacks with an actual weapon. We have taken down Delirious bosses as high as 70% in maps, but Pinnacle bosses are a bit different. They don't get stunned. It's difficult with Seismic Cry. There's no real way to scale it. But for the Thorns, we're trying to do like a passive Thorns. Again, not trying to attack anything, just trying to kill a boss with Thorns. It's probably going to be borderline impossible to do, but we'll see how it turns out. Now, as for the future of the game, I think they need to do a few tweaks to towers still. There's just not enough areas where you can get juice on your maps, and sometimes the juice just isn't worth the squeeze. Especially like this last weekend, I had a overlapping 4-tower area. There were about 15 maps inside all 4 towers, and a decent amount with 3 towers. Now I got disconnected multiple times and lost multiple maps. They closed out. So I spent around, I would say, somewhere between 12 and 16 divine on precursor tablets for this area, just for testing purposes on these citadels, waystone drop chance, and we ended up losing them. If we didn't die, we got disconnected. So that was frustrating. So I couldn't get the exact breakpoints, but one map had 260% waystone drop chance on the waystone and 128% increased waystone drop chance from the precursor tablets base. So then you get the multipliers, it would have been somewhere around 500 or 600 probably, easily, like maybe even higher. But nevertheless, we want to do more content. We're going to start doing some more shorts. I really apologize for my absence and for this being a really long-winded video. I just wanted to release some content, touch base with you guys, let you get to know what's going on inside my head, what I have planned for, the upcoming agendas, and really maybe for some of the newer viewers, get to know me a little bit. So I never would have imagined 4 years ago that I would have gotten this far, almost 150 subscribers, 3,000 watch hours, grinding my way in Path of Exile 2. I just kind of stumbled upon this game. I had heard about POE1 being like Diablo 2. I never played it. But for those of you who don't know, 4 years ago, on July 7th, 4 years ago, I overdosed. I was going to be a new father in the upcoming year. I had just gotten out of jail after a long stint in jail. So I overdosed. I had to serve some more jail time for the overdose, and I transferred to a rehab where I got my life together, kind of found myself and found my spirituality. We won't get into that. It's kind of a touchy topic for some folks, but if you don't believe in anything, then there's kind of you're relying on just yourself, and if left to my own devices, I always make bad decisions. So we put in the hard work, we did what we could, we got our lives together, and here we are. Now I am a soon to be supervisor officially, maybe, depending on if my company stops dragging their feet and promotes me, at a company where I travel all over ensuring the quality of goods for my customers. And we're running a YouTube channel, trying to help out new players, trying to do what we can do. I also am pretty active in a lot of the guys that I met's recovery, trying to keep them, you know, good to go with my sharing my experience, strength, and hope and what I've achieved. And hopefully those experiences and the lessons that I've learned, that you can't really consider a loss just because it went bad. As long as you learn something from it, consider it a lesson. Chalk it up to that. If you knew better, you do better. And then, here we are. So if anyone has any questions, if anyone really just wants to get down to it about the game or about my life or about anything, we're really trying to shoot for that 500 subscriber goal. And I just want to be completely authentic with you guys. That is the next step in us being monetized. So it would really help me out a lot. I would appreciate it if you guys could maybe share these videos, share the content coming up. We're going to be a lot more consistent. We're going to have our nose to the grindstone, and we're going to be getting this stuff done. So as far as that goes, that's where I'm going to end talking about my own personal life and the goals we have coming up. Now, as for changes to the game that I would like to see, we started to touch base on it with the towers thing. I just feel like there needs to be an option for you to pick like specific precursor modifiers that are just always on your character. Wherever you go, there's going to be this, this, and this. At least 3. So if you get a 2-tower spot, it's not so bad because you have a 3rd tower's worth of modifiers on your character already. The new uniques, I found a few of them. They seem relatively useful. I'm not exactly sure, but some of them are really neat. So I like the direction they're going there. But again, we still need ways to scale Warcry skills if they're going to be viable. I think Thorns and Reflect builds are on the up and up. That's something that I'm very passionate about, a more passive playstyle. But they still need something. Like the Crown of the Pale King enables Thorns builds, and without being able to use the deepest tower, you can't really scale your damage as high as you would need it to be. I think with the deepest tower, you could really push it. So they need to, I think, make Crown of the Pale King into a keystone passive or something along those lines, or like put it in a jewel or something, and then Crown of the Pale King, if you elected to use it, could give you something that like increased your Thorns damage. But you can't run a Thorns build without it. It just doesn't work. So I think that they need to diversify it a little bit in that regard. They need to figure something out there. But as for the build diversity of the other classes, I think we're about on par with where it should be. But I just don't think people experiment enough like the casual players. Everyone sees a build that kind of works and they just play that and they don't worry about anything else. If you're not one shot in pinnacle bosses, then the build shit to everybody, so no one plays it. Which is cool, that's fine. But I like to engage with the mechanics, maybe a little too much. I'm pretty defensive. I like to play tankier builds. And I think that every build, if they could, would use trample toes and deepest tower. It just if you can work them in, your build would just be stronger because of it. Not everything can do that, but I really I really want to hammer home a couple of different builds, and we've acquired some of the gear for it. Not all the pieces are together, but we'll see with adequate testing if we can get something done there, and then maybe we'll give GGG some feedback on where we got with the absolute pinnacle min max of them. The Citadel fixes, we've got like 15 Citadels in one area, so that's pretty cool. Everything else is going pretty well. That's about all I got. Just wanted to touch base with you guys and give you a little insight into what I was doing. So stay tuned for the next video. You already know what it is. You are enough. Stay blessed. And as always, stay mouthy. We'll see you on the next video, you mother-loving legends.